Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Fernanda, and on this channel we talk about personal finance, personal development, and I help you make the mindset shifts that will help you get you to your financial goals even faster. In today's video, I'm gonna talk to you about my plan for financial independence in this lifetime still. So let's get into it. I feel like when you used to say financial independence, people used to think about just leaving their parents' house, and if you have a job and you pay your own bills, then that already means that you are financially independent. But that's not exactly right.
Oh, come on, you can't live off your parents your whole life.
I know that. That's why I was getting married.
If you rely on a job, you're not financially independent. If you rely on a husband or on a wife, you're not financially independent. What it really means to be financially independent is that you don't need to rely on a job or on a salary to live. It's to be able to stop working altogether well before normal retirement age, which for most people nowadays is getting to be near 70. And doesn't that sound appealing? I think I first ran into the concept of FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early, quite a long time ago, but then it always just sounded like either an impossible pipe dream or something that was just reserved for really rich people. But thankfully nowadays there's a lot more talk about the FIRE movement, and I obviously drank the Kool-Aid, so I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about that today. The short and long of it is, for me, I have this goal because I want to have choice in my life. Especially really since being in lockdown earlier this year, I've come to realize how important it is for me to be able to do things because of choice, because I choose to do them, and instead of because I have no other option. I was made redundant last September and I knew I had no other choice but to get a new job because I didn't have enough money saved up. So I want to change that. A lot of people still think that becoming financially independent is a crazy idea and that it can't be done on a regular income. But I've kind of gotten out of the habit of saying I can't to things, and instead I've started to ask myself, how can I? So my personal big plan to accomplish all this is simply to invest in low-cost index funds. The reason why I decided to go on this route is because to me it really seems just like the safest low risk of them all. All the historical data from stock market returns is really on our side when it comes to the long term. Whilst in the short term stock prices are very volatile, in the long term, the average trend is consistently going up. If you take the S&P 500, for example, which is the main index that tracks the American stock market, it has never posted a negative return when you look at a 20-year period. That's a lot more guarantee than most people realize. I think because when we talk about stocks and the stock market, people think it's a good way to make a quick buck. And then of course they'll start looking at day trading or really irresponsible things like that and lose money, when people don't realize that the safest, quickest way to make a lot of money is the long term. So even though past performance is never a guarantee of future returns, and make sure that you remember this phrase if you are planning on going into the stock market. From the historical data that we have, it's almost a guarantee that if you leave your investments where they are for long enough, you will get good returns and they will go up in value. So my goal here is to save up enough money in index funds so that the growth in value of the funds plus the dividends that they pay out every year will be sufficient to cover my yearly costs without the need for a job. It kind of really is that simple. Obviously, in order to do that, I have to have a goal amount that I'm working towards. And what I used to figure out what that amount is what we call the 4% rule. If you want more detail on the maths behind the whole thing, you can look up the Trinity study and read up more about it. It's actually quite interesting. But what the 4% rule basically means is that you would need 25 times your yearly expenses invested in these funds. And that means you would be able to withdraw 4% of those investments every year without running out of money for at least 25 years. These are the results of the Trinity study. It found that you could continue to withdraw 4% of your investments for 25 years without running out of money 100% of the time. And then if you ended up being retired for longer than 25 years, it went to something like 96% of the time. They got this figure from averaging out the returns of the stock market, I think from 1926. And they found that throughout all the recessions, throughout all the highs and lows, the average return of the stock market was 7%. They then deducted the average inflation during the same time, which averaged out to be 3%, and they came up with the 4% rule. So if, for example, I want to live on 22K a year, which I guess would allow me to pay off my normal expenses and maybe give me a holiday once a year. All I would need to do is time £22,000 times 25, which comes to £550,000. So that means that if I wanted to stop working tomorrow, all I would need to do is come up with £550,000 and I'll be golden. But at the end of the day, guys, you know what? Even if my maths is all wrong, even if we come across a huge economic catastrophe that means I can't retire at 50, by doing all this today and planning for all this today, it means that when the time does come for me to retire, I will be a lot better prepared. The time is gonna go by either way, so I might as well just get on with it, right? Why not? Now that I'm debt free, and I still can't believe I'm saying that out loud and that it's real, but here we are. I became debt-free a couple months ago. It means I can finally go all in on my financial independence plans. So if this is something that does interest you, perhaps that would be your first step, if you have any, would be to get rid of any consumer debt that you have. I know some of you watching this might be having a hard time even making ends meet at the end of the month and thinking, how the hell am I ever going to start investing? But honestly, start with whatever you can. Start small, but just make sure you start early and often. I'm telling you guys, every time I log into that brokerage account and I see that number going up a little bit every month, it's a whole different kind of buzz. Honestly, if you can't see how in the hell you would ever do this, start small, but do start. I started investing 50 quid a month. Even before I became debt-free, I made sure that I had that in my budget every month. The thought of your money working for you instead of you working for money is honestly addictive. So that is my current plan, guys. The important thing to remember when planning for the long term like this is that our lives are not an Excel spreadsheet. Things will happen, things will change, your life will change. So it's important to remain flexible with long-term goals like these. I do have a quick tip for you though. If you want to start dipping your toes in investing without committing your own money, you can find in the description box links to where you can get up to 3 free stocks when you sign up via the links down there. These are free share promotional offers some trading platforms offer. So when you sign up via a referral link, which you can find in the description, you'll get a free share. If you found this video helpful or entertaining at all, please make sure to give it a like, to let the YouTube algorithm know to show it to other people. And make sure you tell me in the comments if this is something you would ever really prepare for, if you ever considered early retirement and financial independence. And also, if you'd like to see more videos from me, please make sure you are subscribing to my channel. I would love your help in growing this channel so that we can get this message of financial independence to as many people as possible. Meanwhile, I will see you on our next video. Bye!